One of the major challenges is that athletes don't tend to see the importance of a sports performance specialist. Some athletes could see the importance, but they just don't have the money to pay for it. The only problem with team training is that you can't really individualize based off every single player that you have. How that's hurting us is that there is no standardized level of proficiency. Unfortunately, this industry has been saturated with people who are promising results in an incredibly insane amount of time. That's never gonna happen. Let me be the helper in someone else's journey.
Viewers, talk about sports performance, talk about elite performance, talk about being the best at your level best. Only found here at Wima Sports, indeed, where we are championing sports development, and we are at Osoita Lodge, where guests become family. Today we are having an amazing family of sports. You know, the sports family at Wima Sports, it's growing each and every single week.
Come on.
Yeah. And we are honored to have an amazing guest with us, none other than Arnold Mugabo.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And tell us more about, maybe if you can just introduce, we are seeing a clock on your chest.
Yes, sir.
And it is AMSCPERFORMANCE.
Come on. So basically, AMSCPERFORMANCE is just, we are a sports performance institute. Just put it casually, we just help people get better in their sports, just focusing on, developing the human behind the sport itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just AMSCPERFORMANCE, but Arnold is also a certified, a trainer at what he does. And not only a trainer, I might get to say it wrong, but maybe you can let us know about your certifications.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm certified to be a personal trainer, a sports performance specialist, and a sports nutrition coach.
Maybe just to simplify it, because we are in a culture where we don't view some of these things professionally. If you simplify it, what does those certifications empower you to do?
So sports performance specialists, I just basically help athletes perform at the best level that they can. I got the nutritionist coach, just to supplement not just performing, but also just being able to recover, because you also need good fuel or good food to fuel your performance or on the court or whichever sport that is that you might be playing. And personal trainer, just to understand basic human movement, human ability, and just how to make that be as best as it can be.
And where have you gotten all this certification from?
Okay, so I'm certified with the American Council on Exercise and the National Association of Sports Medicine.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are looking forward to taking sports to the next level in Kenya, not only Kenya, East and Central Africa as well. And Arnold is positioned to do that for you. You athlete out there, you professional person, don't waste time. Do it the best way with AMSCPERFORMANCE.
You know it.
It's about that time, right?
Yes, sir.
Clock on your chest.
I see what you did there.
So Arnold, just tell us about your journey to founding this, and what inspired you to start this institution.
Okay, so actually when I started off AMSC, I was working for a triathlon club. I still do work with them. And fortunately enough, I had an amazing mentor who just helped, steer my path. He helped me identify the niche that I would like to get into with just sports performance, based off of my history as an athlete. Because I started off, just as a regular personal trainer, the regular trainer that you'd find at a gym. But I always wanted to somehow just translate that into now helping athletes become the best versions of themselves. So he steered me down the right path, and I think about 4 months later into our working relationship, I opened up AMSC.
And there's one key thing you've talked about, the word mentor.
Yes.
What does this mean to you as a young person getting into this profession? And what has it changed? What does mentorship, what has it brought out to you compared to your peers who maybe are not having mentors? What's the value of having a mentor, in short?
I mean, mentorship is extremely important, extremely important. One thing my mentor keeps telling me is that I think the reason why he lived his life the way he did, making all the mistakes he did, is so that I would only have to make about 50% of them, because obviously you sometimes receive advice, you think you know better, and you end up getting hurt along the way. But the objective is just to help you, steer clear of all the obstacles that could potentially be in front of you, and just someone who sees the potential that you have in you and just knowing how to bring out the best in you. So one aspect of mentorship that I found to be extremely important is just humility. Just being humble enough to accept that you do not know everything, and there's this person who is goodwill, who wants to help you, be the best version of yourself. So one mentorship is something that I'm extremely grateful for. I bank on it every single day until today. I have multiple mentors in my life, and just because of all the effort they've put into me and the patience as well, I've been able to just progress a bit further than I might have without them.
Yeah. And indeed, you've been able to transition from being an athlete and to becoming a certified sports performance specialist, a trainer and a nutrition coach. How was this transition for you? Like from now wanting to be the athlete now to helping athletes?
Definitely. I mean, if you ask the guys that I train, I still very much am better than them. No, I kid. But one of the things that really helped me, it was a blessing in disguise, was that I got a lot of injuries around the time I was 18, when I was kind of, trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to accomplish with my life. So, every teenager who's in sports be like, I want to become pro, I want to go pro, all those things. But unfortunately, because of those injuries, I couldn't pursue that. So for some time I was embittered and, a bit down in the dumps. But thankfully, someone who saw potential in what I could be, just gave me some advice like, why don't you try and do this? So I did, and eventually along the way, I picked up the mindset of, instead of me being an athlete, I don't know where that would have taken me, but how about you try and make sure that you get better at what you do, so that people don't get injured and have to quit or give up their dreams the way you had to. So what really helped me transition was just that mindset of, okay, let me be the helper in someone else's journey, So from becoming the main character to becoming a supporting character. Exactly. Yeah.
And indeed comes with humility, as you said, and
you have to have a lot of humility.
Maybe just before we continue, how many such professionals are you aware of in Kenya?
Unfortunately, that number is not quite high. There are a lot of people who do something similar, but there are very, very few people who are certified, to be doing what they're doing. And how that's hurting us is that there's no standardized level of proficiency. There's no standardized level of, what it is that you're bringing to the table. So that affects both the players and the coaches. The players in the sense that they're not getting the best level of help that they could be getting. And it affects the coaches, because those people are ruining the reputation of people who are actually certified to be doing what they're doing. So long story short, there needs to be a body of governance, just a quality check to ensure that athletes are getting what they deserve, and also the professionals are getting, the recognition.
Any solutions that you'd like to offer in regards to that?
Yes, people who are interested in governance, I'm speaking directly to you. If there could just be a body, or at least just a process on how to become a certified professional. It doesn't have to be internationally recognized, just locally, so that we could have a standardized level of coaching, so that we can expect for youth athletes that they're being taken through a good progression throughout the year, so that by the time they're ready to be professional athletes, they have quite an extensive, skill-based level of strength, movement ability, psychological health, mental health. That being said, and then just having a good structure for players to look forward to joining.
What advantages does it give an athlete? I know you've already mentioned some of this, but I'd like to ask it again. What advantages does it give an athlete to work with you or a certified person as compared to just any Tom, Dick, and Harry?
Right, that's a good question. So the advantages are just, one, the individual care that you get, because a lot of times whenever teams The only problem with team training is that you can't really individualize based off every single player that you have. Let's say player X could be really good at doing sprints and player B could be really good at jumping high. If you put them all in the same program, you will find that one player improves dramatically while the other one is left behind.
True.
So why you need an SNC or a sports performance coach is that they're able to individualize, the approach based off of your needs. Let's say player B could also be having a problem with their ankle or their knee, something like that. A sports performance, a good one I should say, would be able to just work on your weaknesses while also addressing your strengths to not, lag behind. That and, just really the individual care that you get and knowing that you're in good hands that have extensive knowledge on how to tackle every program or problem, I should say, instead of just addressing it to that general approach.
The general approach. Mm-hmm. So true. What challenges did you face, while building this sports performance hub, AMSC, within, East Africa, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. So one of the major challenges is that athletes don't tend to see the importance of a sports performance specialist. I mean, the general mentality is that if it's a bill that I can avoid, I'm going to avoid it, So people tend to, just follow those YouTube workouts, get abs in 10 minutes after this, because that's what they really care about. Yeah. They don't really know how, first of all, they don't have an understanding of value. They don't have a value-based mindset. So they see this as this person is now a recurring bill that I have to pay after every month, rather than this person is bringing this amount of value into my life or into my performance. And which is actually funny, because if you just took that approach of having a value-based mindset, you yourself would become more valuable, and in turn, more teams will be willing to give you more money and things like that.
And high returns.
Exactly. Yeah. So just athletes not seeing the importance of that. And number two, some athletes could see the importance, but they just don't have the money to pay for it, So it is a business at the end of the day. It does need to make financial sense on my side. As much as I would like to, give out hand-me-outs and things like that, it's not going to keep the lights at the gym on. Yeah. So it has to make sense for me as well.
And the lights have to stay on.
They have to stay on.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Speaking of athletes development, and your training philosophy, can you elaborate on your 1% better everyday philosophy?
Yeah.
And how does that shape your training program at AMSC Performance?
Right. Mm-hmm. So another important aspect to have, or character I should say, to have as a coach is patience. Unfortunately, this industry has been saturated with people who are promising results in an incredibly insane amount of time. You'll see someone talking about, I know a lot of basketball guys can relate to this one, get 40 inches after finishing on your vertical, after finishing this workout. That's never going to happen,
Yeah.
So first, just educating people that these things take time, If you're a football player, you didn't learn how to shoot the ball with efficiency in one workout or one training session. You went at it consistently, time and time again. You just invested your time, your effort, your spirit into it. So just having that same mindset when it comes to, just your sports performance, your health, even just your mental ability, these are things that you have to put in daily deposits in. So one of the aspects of, now this is just talking purely gym, is that you should not do too much too soon. Doing too much too soon will actually bring negatives. This is the graph for improvement. You'll have just enough, then there's too much. Mm-hmm. So as a coach, your job is to see how much is too much. Where should I put my barrier and say, okay, this is enough today, guys. Sometimes that could be in the form of maybe working out for 30 minutes only. Sometimes it could be 90 minutes, Mm-hmm. But you get from place A to place B over time, and consistency and patience.
And that's one thing we battle with so hardly, with most coaches.
Yeah.
Sometimes, they we see this thing of putting in time. You want to push something extra for like a training for 3 hours.
Yes.
But
oh my goodness,
man,
that one.
Your mind is, the athlete's mind is only there for 1.5 to 2 hours.
Exactly. Maximum.
Then the body starts
declining,
and everything starts
that.
declining. That affects all that happened within the 2 hours.
Yeah.
What can you speak in regards to that?
I think that's mainly the coach. It's almost 95% the coach's fault, because as the coach you are the governing authority of that training session. Sometimes you meet overzealous athletes who want to train for hours on end. They just want to be in the gym, or they want to be on the court, football pitch, pool for longer than they should. It's your responsibility as the coach to tell them, no, this is enough. You've done enough for today. Anything more, it's pointless. You're wasting your energy. You're actually standing in your own way. So you need to be able to tell them, okay, go hard now, stop. That's enough for today. Let's cool down, call it a day. You go home, eat well, sleep well, come back, let's do it again tomorrow. So yeah. Maybe
if you can, if you can run us through what are the preparation phases before an athlete trains?
Yeah.
What are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do after they train? How are they supposed to stretch? Is stretching important? You know, that's one thing. You know, I see most athletes do. Tumemaliza training, boop boop bag, shoot,
out
home.
There.
We out.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's time for training. Boom, boom. You remove, you change your shoes, and boom,
you get into
it straight. Maybe if you can just speak a little bit on that.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're trying to get here is just the longevity. You see, especially for younger players, they don't see the event horizon where they're going to get old one day and their body will start slowing down. So that's also another responsibility of the coach, is just to educate them on seeing that, okay, you see yourself today and tomorrow. I see you 10 years from now. You see, I'm seeing you as a finished product. I'm seeing you as a professional. You don't want to be that professional now who has that achy knee or sore lower back and things like that. So one thing I tell guys is that preparation starts the night before, actually. It doesn't start in the morning. Or
the night before.
It starts the night before.
Before the AM, eh?
You know, exactly, before the morning. So just the quality of sleep that you're getting. You know, quality of sleep is a seriously big determinant. If you get, like, let's say 4 hours of really low quality sleep, you can't come into the gym the next day or the court or the field, whatever it is you're doing, and expect to perform at the highest possible level. You'll be lying to yourself. The only thing that you're relying on there is willpower, you see. And that's why you'll find a lot of players drink things like Red Bull or coffee, or like they need glucose in their water. It's because they genuinely don't have any energy. So what they're giving themselves is actually fake energy, you know. It's more placebo than actual energy. So getting a good 8 to 10 hours of sleep, that is an extremely big key that every single athlete, from the youth all the way to the more veteran players, need to utilize, you know, in their training. And then, you know, now when you wake up, let's say you have your training at 10, how are you going to feel before your training? Are you going to have, you know, wasteful energy like having cereals, you know, those Macon flakes, Frosty flakes, things that younger guys like to eat? Or are you actually eating in preparation to fuel your body so that by the time it's time to perform, you're performing at your highest possible level? Then you come into the gym or wherever it is, you have to have a good warm-up. Make sure that your body is feeling good, excited. Your mind, you should be happy. You should be excited to be there. If you have a warm-up which feels stale or it feels boring, you're not feeling amped and excited after the warm-up, you've just wasted your time. You see? So warming up, essentially, you just get your body in a way that you're preventing any possible injuries, and you're also improving the performance of the session. You have the session which, I mean, depending on what it is you're doing, shouldn't last more than 30 to an hour maximum of the actual session. Then you have to have the cool down, which is extremely important, which is usually undervalued. You know, just as important as the warm-up or even the main session itself, because the whole idea of training is actually to improve. You know, you're beating your body down. So the improvement comes in the recovery. You see, not in the session. The session is beating your body down, you're breaking your body down, your muscles down. Where the improvement comes in is now how do you relax your body afterwards? Because when you relax your body, that's where the improvements come in. So instead of stretching, what I like to tell my guys to do is actually do active mobility. You know, a conversation we could definitely have extensively later on.
Yeah.
But active mobility, cooling your mind and body down, just being able to rest, that's where now the improvement comes in.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You've been able to work with over 150 athletes.
Yeah.
How do you tailor programs for both upcoming junior athletes, seasoned pros, and what is the key to balancing the different needs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that you acquire over an extensive a period of time. I know you're familiar with the 10,000 hours rule.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just, one thing that I try to tell like junior coaches I talk to is don't overthink the training. Have very specific goals that you're working towards. Once you have the goal, it will direct what you're going to do in the session or in the program. So for juniors, I like focusing on just building up the ability, them understanding their bodies, understanding what the body is capable of doing, teaching fundamental movement patterns. So I'll have guys from 10 to like about 14, 16 doing that. So with that mindset, I just program based off of that. It's made my work so much more easier. Then I have guys who are in the late stages of puberty, going on to young adults. Those guys now need more strength. You know, they're getting now into their bodies. They need to put on some muscle, some strength and power, speed, all those things. Then now when I have more seasoned pros, those are guys who've been in the business for a while. Their bodies have now become their main source of investment. So you want to protect your investment. You do that by making sure that you're trying to avoid injuries, trying to stay healthy. At this point in someone's career, I'm not really looking to improve, let's say, their speed or their vertical jump. I'm trying to see what can I do to make sure that this person stays healthy and available for the rest of their career.
Yeah, that's true, and that's really deep stuff.
Yeah.
Performance in this current, world that we live in this day, age, and era, doesn't come without science.
Yes.
It is science-backed, and recovery also involves science and all that. Your programs are science-backed. Could you share how you use data, technology, to optimize athletes' performance?
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the most important things to do as a coach is just to stay humble and just realize that there's constantly published or newly published research papers. So you have to humble yourself and realize that no matter how long you've stayed, there's someone out there who is learning something new. Yeah. And if you want to stay at the forefront of being able to provide pertinent training, then you have to actually study that. So they're called peer-reviewed published papers. You just go through them, you take like an hour out of your day, you read them, you see, okay, based off of this, what can I actually apply into my training philosophy, my training style, and to the athletes that I have available. Keeping in mind that not everything that you read is going to need to be applied to every single person that you're training. Apart from that, we do use technology to, just gauge how well our athletes are performing. We measure their standing vertical jump, their power, their strength. These are all things that you can download off of an app of your phone. If you're willing to put like about $5 to $6 a month, you can get pretty good ability just using your phone's camera. You have guys who are working at a much more higher level. They have things like force plates. They have vertical jump testers and all those things. You don't need all of that. If you do want to invest in it, well and good, it will take you to the next level. But, $6 a month on your phone and knowing how to actually use that goes a long way. Recovery is huge,
Very huge. As you've said, it's the point at which people improve their performance.
Yeah.
What's your approach to post-injury rehabilitation, and how do you ensure athletes return stronger if you've worked with any?
So one thing that I really just like try to hammer in my guys' minds is that recovery is super important. You know, some people who are fortunate enough get access to things like Normatec boots, which I'm familiar that you guys actually have here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys get your recovery from here. Wima Sports has Normatec boots.
And much more.
And
much more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look out for Wima Recovery Center coming up soon.
I'm gonna be there for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, so recovery and post-injury rehabilitation. One thing that I try to do is not be an all-rounded, a guy who wants to be able to provide everything. You need to be very humble and true to yourself and realize what is my key ethos, what is my main service. So my main service is more so sports performance. Yes, I do have the ability to help people who are in the late stages of rehab get back to their sports, but it's not my main specialization. So where I can, I always outsource the work. Fortunately enough, I'm able to work with a lot of good physios. We have React Kenya, we have Action Physio, Proactive Kenya. There's so many physios that I've had the pleasure of working with. And now, like you said, also Wima Sports Recovery Center coming up soon.
Yep.
So I outsource, but on the late stage of recovery, where I'm just trying to build back strength, I'm more focused on three things. One, just bringing back the confidence that you can use that injured body part. So for example, let's say someone had a bad knee. I'm going to now teach and re-educate you, build up that confidence in your mind that that knee can accept force going through it. You'll find someone who has like an ACL injury, whenever they land, they have a very stiff leg. It's because they don't want that leg to take any of the weight.
Yeah.
So it's just training the body to understand that this leg is now fine. It can now go back to doing what it used to do. So you do that by just gradual progressing in the intensity of exercise.
Gotcha. How does nutrition? I know you've mentioned that. How does nutrition coaching integrate into your performance model?
Right.
You know, and how crucial is it for athletes to stay on top on their nutrition plans?
Yeah.
Specifically, if you can break it down to the normal Kenyan affordable nutrition.
Yeah. One thing that is just extremely vital is just general education on what nutrition is. You come to find that a lot of athletes don't, or I should say local athletes don't know what is the basic macronutrient classification, your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins, and what do these things do. So you'll find naturally that a Kenyan's diet is more so carbohydrates based. Ugali, spinach, you know, things like that, maize, chapo, rice. There's a lot of that because that's mandazi, exactly. It's more so what's commonly available, and it's also budget friendly. The only thing about that is the harsh reality is that you want to become a performing athlete. If you want to be a performing athlete, you need to be able to invest in your nutrition as well. That's a big thing. It might not be seen as important, but it's extremely vital, because if I was to put on a list of hierarchy the most important macronutrient, I would say protein, because protein is what builds the body. You know, there's no point spending hours in the gym or spending hours in the field expecting to get better at whatever it is you're doing without giving your body the fuel to build itself back up. So without protein, no.
And this is just any type of protein, even the beans and stuff.
Beans,
eggs.
Yes, there you go. That's anytime people tell me, hey, protein is expensive. Let me give you an example. We have a guy who, they like going, let's say, Klabu. You spend like 60 bob buying a Rolex or a smocha. You see, that same 60 shillings, if eggs is 18 bob, you can buy like about 3 to 4 eggs with that same 60 shillings. That's, if one egg is 6 grams of protein, you're getting about 20 to 24 grams of protein just from what you'd have used the same amount of money you'd have used to buy a smocha. So it's not really that there's no, it's expensive, it's just that you're making an excuse because you've
just
not done
perception that
exactly. You've not done your due diligence. And if you just really prioritize what your priorities are, a lot of people, when they do their budgeting, which most people don't do, they don't account for their food. You see, food is always one of the first things that will take a hit, because there's a perception that when you eat good, you're bougie or you're fancy, you're just taking good care of your body. Yeah. So yeah, just getting like the basics.
So you mentioned maybe if you can enlighten more about, you've given a really good example, Rolex versus 3 eggs.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that are, readily available that
people can buy?
Yeah.
So I would say eggs is the most affordable form of protein. If you just supplement that with good milk, not those low-fat things or soy milks or whatever, just good cow's milk. Brookside has good milk. Not sponsoring.
Yeah.
Just from my own personal experience. Getting things like spinach, ugali skuma nyama, everybody eats that. Ugali skuma eggs, everybody eats that. Just getting a good balanced diet instead of wasting now money buying things that you should not be putting into your body, like alcohol and things like that, or drugs. Use it to buy good sustainable food. Yeah.
Gotcha. Global competitiveness has really grown. I mean, Olympics has just ended. We've seen athletes performing at the highest levels. We've seen, the lady from, is it Lativa, or there's the lady who won the 100 meters. Latvia. Latvia.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knew Shekari got this, until things happened, and all it's about, global competitiveness. AMC performance, is coming to Africa, is coming to Kenya at this time where, we as Africans, we really have that natural build to compete.
Yeah, not just compete, but dominate.
And dominate.
Exactly.
How do you aim to get East African athletes, Kenyan athletes competing on the global stage, and what gap are you bridging? And how do you see this coming to play?
Yeah. So AMSC as a sports performance institution, one thing that we're just trying to offer our athletes is just training at a world level, training that you'll see there's actually no difference in our training versus what someone in the NBA could be receiving. In terms of what we have available, we're going to make the most use of it. Yes, you'll see those guys in like fancy recovery centers and all those things. But at the end of the day, this is a human based off of wherever he might be geographically, and this is also a human who is just located in Kenya. So we're just gonna use this human, or give this human what we have available, and train him to the best possible knowledge, because knowledge is what really differentiates these two. This guy in America is using a dumbbell. In Kenya, this guy is going to use a dumbbell. It just depends. How does this guy use his dumbbell, and why the way this guy uses his dumbbell is making this guy better, So that's the gap that we are trying to bridge just through our knowledge and experience.
Do you believe that Africa has the potential, Kenya has the potential of dominating the Olympics?
Oh, 100%. No doubt about it. In terms, we've already seen the long distance. We've seen what Ferdinand Omanyala is doing in the short distance. And there are so many other guys like him who've just not gotten a chance to hear, have their stories told as well. We have guys like Mark Otieno coming up. There's so much potential that we have out there. The only thing that's holding us back is just now the structure in terms of the sports management that is being done at a governing level. But, that's for them to figure out. On our part, we're going to train our athletes the best possible way that we can. And I'll say this, in terms of potential, we have so much potential. We have the most important thing that I've come to find out in training all the people that I have is the desire to grow. We have the desire to grow just based off of the fact that it's either you make it or you don't. If you don't make it, then life is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
So just having that, I call it dog, having that dog in you, it's gonna bring out a lot.
That's true. Yes. That's true. And I feel I'm not hyping Kenyans or the magical Kenya, but the reality is I feel, Kenyans have that dog. You see how people grind, even day-to-day life, out of sports and everything, just naturally. I mean, guys are pushing it. Guys are pushing it no matter what's happening, no matter the environment, no matter what. Guys are go-getters and are just pushing it daily.
You have to survive.
Yep. What impact has, your work had on athletes in terms of international representation? I know you have some guys playing pro internationally. Could you share a few, success stories?
Okay. So at the moment we have guys like Andrew Numero. He's a Malawian international that's currently at the moment is not playing, but he's played in Gor Mahia. He's played overseas as well. Right now, what I've been mainly focusing on is more varsity and high school athletes, because I'm trying to develop them from young, and with time they're gonna come up. So we have guys like Roy Biegon. He's playing in D1 in America for Lafayette men's soccer team. He's absolutely killing it out there. We have like guys like Jeremiah Goku. He's playing as a defender in the one of the competing leagues in the NCAA for soccer, Limestone Soccer. We have talents like Angela Washira. She's playing for Milligan University, which is also a D1 university in women's soccer. We have guys like Paul Ebanda. He's currently playing JUCO in the American NCAA. We have so many athletes who've come through our doors. We have Mutai Kibugu. He plays internationally in the golf circuits around the world. So yeah, we're having an impact.
Awesome,
for sure.
Awesome.
Just getting started.
And there's still more to come.
You better believe it.
Yeah. And sports doesn't miss community, and community doesn't miss sports.
That's true.
Your vision is to foster community driven by excellence, inclusivity, innovation, and how you bring this vision to life with AMSC.
No, it's a bit of a tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister, people.
Yeah, so how we're building community is just one, exposing the younger guys. So one thing I try to do intentionally is I have the younger guys training with the much more veteran guys, just so they can see, this guy, for him to perform the way he does outside, this is the work that he's doing behind the scenes to get there. Another way we take part in the community is just, participating in local tournaments and just giving back as where we can as well, trying to take part. One of the things that we want to do more so in the coming year is just doing more humanitarian work, because at the end of the day, we all are humans, and we need to help each other and care for each other. So yeah, that's how we take part in our community.
Awesome. 3 years now?
This is actually the 4th year.
4th year? We are clocking the 3rd year here at Wima Sports.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're 1 year ahead of us.
Come on.
We are growing together.
That's the partnership. It's really about just how we can work together,
There you go. So you ensure we don't fall, I ensure you don't fall.
That's how it works. That's what it calls being a brother's keeper,
Awesome. How has it been now for clocking 4th year?
4th year, one of the things I'll tell people out there is just to be patient and have consistency. How I developed this 1% every day didn't actually come from the gym. It came from running a business. You just focus on doing what you can every single day. You don't have to accomplish great feats of work every single day. Just putting in the effort, showing up where you can, just making sure that, your brand is visible, that your brand is actually doing good work. Focus on being a good human, genuinely care about people. That's the biggest thing that I'll say has helped me grow. It's just that the fact any single time someone walks through the door, I try to make sure that I care about them genuinely, more so as a person first before as an athlete. Like just having that human touch. Because you'll find athletes, they tend to be treated as commodities a lot, and you forget that that's a human being. It's just that he's really good at what he does, or she is really good at what she does. But when you come strip that person away of all their skill, all of their capabilities, at the end of the day, you have a human being. So care for that human being, and they will flourish and grow.
Definitely, definitely. And as you were saying that, you reminded me of, I think, LeBron's daughter, who also said the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you guys see him as a star and everything, but to me, it's just a dad. He's normal.
Just my father.
Yeah, I don't even think of him in the way, it is out there, which is really key. And, sometimes we get to not majority guys or people tend to treat athletes just as a product.
Exactly.
Yet they're human beings as well, and they go through, what all of us go through.
Yes.
Yeah. Just through this journey, there are personal reflections, and there are areas or pointers where you had some inspirations. Arnold, what keeps you motivated and excited about your work every day?
So what keeps me motivated is one of the best pieces of advice my mentor gave me is just discover what your purpose on this earth is. Throughout time, I'm 24 years old, I'm still discovering what my purpose is, but thankfully, I'm a Christian, and the Bible has given me my purpose just to be in God's service. So one thing that now, when I found out what my purpose is to be in God's service, I came to realize, okay, based off the skill set and ability I have, how can I serve God? So I came to find out that how I'm going to serve Him is just by ensuring that these people get the best help and care that they can from me. That's when, I just realized, strip away the term athlete and just focus on the human being. How can you best impact this human being? Now when I keep the mindset that every day I'm waking up, I'm like, I used to think, how can I get my athletes performing better? Nowadays I think, okay, how can I get person A? How can I impact this person? Sometimes it doesn't even come to the training. Sometimes it's the conversations you have after the training, Sometimes it's just you can do it, bro. I trust you. I believe in you. That could be the most impactful way that I impact that person's life. And in doing so, I've found a lot of motivation, because naturally so you face the hard times. I've been injured more times than I can count, It's had me extremely depressed at points in time. But when you come to realize that you don't live this life for yourself, you live it in servitude of others, that keeps you motivated and just pushing through.
I like that you brought up one important thing.
Yeah.
And not to say that all you've said is not important.
Yeah, I get you.
But purpose, finding your purpose, and specifically saying that finding your purpose through Christ is really important. Also being a Christian, I can testify to that, because you have a different view on how you handle things. You handle things in a different way, and just to encourage you to keep on keeping on with that.
I appreciate it.
And we're encouraging our viewers, man. Find your purpose in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
And stay
you
rooted.
better believe that.
Yeah, stay rooted in Him. Yeah, that's the where everything gets to overflow from there. Be it wisdom, be it what. And one thing that people never get to realize is the Bible is a good business book.
I don't think people know. People really need to go through Ecclesiastes and Proverbs.
Yes, you'll get to realize and see. Anyway, as we wrap it up, brother, what advice would you give to young athletes aspiring to unlock their athletic, potential? Be it East Africa, be it globally, what advice would you like to give this person?
I think it's just advice. A lot of people usually expect the motivation. I like giving logical facts on steps to follow. Identify your strengths from a young age. Identify your weaknesses from a young age. Find out what is the best way that I can go about, improving my strengths. What weaknesses do I have, and how are they holding me back from being the best version of myself? It could be physical weaknesses. It could be skill-based weaknesses. It could be mental weaknesses. Try to isolate them and find them out. And then now, once you've done that, you can now find out, okay, I have my strengths and my weaknesses. What path or method do I need to follow to ensure that I'm bringing out the best version of myself? Once you do that, seek help in the relevant spaces or capacities, and then once you've done all of that, give yourself some grace. Be patient, trust the process. People say that stars are not born in one day. It takes an extensive amount of time. Just be consistent.
Just be consistent. Definitely. On to the quickfire segment. You ready?
I got this, bro.
Favorite athlete of all time?
LeBron James.
LeBron James?
LeBron James.
Eliud Kipchoge?
LeBron James.
One piece of equipment you can't train without?
Dumbbells.
By the way, people get to not realize how much you can do with a dumbbell.
Dumbbells are so versatile. You can work your strength, build muscle, build power, build speed with dumbbells.
Good dumbbells.
Yep.
So if you have a set of dumbbells, you're good.
I can do most of what I need to do.
Wow. Most challenging part of your day?
Writing 10 billion programs.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Go to recovery meal.
Wow. That one you've hit me home. Let's see. I like burritos, like the mincemeat, wrap, some cheese.
God. Yes. I have a Mexican friend and he makes that. I even just had it last weekend.
Yeah.
I like it too.
It's so easy to make. Like you just make some mincemeat with the taco seasoning.
Yeah.
You get a wrap, put it into the air fryer, and it's good to go.
Wow. I like it. He just turned 28, I think, or 29.
Yeah.
We celebrated his birthday and we had that. I was the only one who went for
seconds. If I was there, it would have been thirds.
There you go. One word that describes the future of, AMSC performance.
Impactful.
Brother, thank you for having us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for sharing all this. Thank you for being impactful,
I appreciate
to our viewers, and indeed keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm impressed, and I'd like to challenge, people. Sometimes we view things based on, no, I won't do this now, I'm too young.
Yeah.
Or you feel you still have time. But I encourage people to keep on, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And don't limit yourself with age.
Mindset is your biggest limiter.
That's true. And I'm impressed because that's what I see in you.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot. Bro, I'm excited about your 30s, man. I can only imagine.
Don't even speak. These young guys in the gym be calling me Unc. Yeah. Let's not even get into that.
They'll get into
They dig. They dig. Yeah.
So as we wrap it up, viewers, it's a great honor having you. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
We are looking forward to great things together. And keep on keeping on. Let's champion this sports development together here in Kenya and beyond.
Exactly.
As we grow. Viewers, until next time, it's your host here at Wima Sports, where we're championing sports development, and we are at Osoita Lodge, where guests become family. Signing out. Salute.